Welcome back, everyone, to Late Night Latte. I'm Ash,
I'm Starfish.
and today we are going to talk about some art stuff.
Whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah, that too.
Art stuff. Yeah.
Basically, whatever the fuck we want, but today we're fucking with art stuff.
Yeah, because Ash and I are both artists. In case you didn't know, or it's never been mentioned before.
In fact, we draw all of the thumbnails for our podcast too.
Hell yeah, collaborative effort.
Yeah, and it's certainly not because we only want to draw half of the sections.
Shh.
And leave the other half to the other.
Shh, you can't let them know.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I ruined the surprise.
You ruined the surprise.
Oh.
Yeah, so the art stuff that we're going to be chatting about today is specifically what it's like being an artist online and how that has changed since when we were kids to now that we're adults. Yes?
Which is a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
It's things changed a lot, but I guess you could say the same about the internet. It's like as the internet's changed and evolved, being a creative person online has also changed and evolved.
Oh, yeah.
Not just for artists, but for all aspects of
Absolutely.
creative work.
But for now, we're talking about artists. Well,
Yeah.
because, like, we all started on DeviantArt, and now we're on Twitter, and I don't know, none of the people that I used to, like, talk to and befriended on DeviantArt use DeviantArt anymore. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
the platform has evolved from it, and I don't know if I was, like, a 14-year-old in 2020, would I be on DeviantArt or not? It's just hard.
You probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the name it used to.
Yeah, phew, that's true.
And because there's also more options these days, whereas DeviantArt was considered the art place, the place to be if you were an artist or looking for art back in the early 2000s.
So what other options are there? We've got Twitter, Tumblr, I guess.
There are a lot of different art websites, but usually they're more themed. Like, obviously you have direct, I suppose you could say competitors, maybe. Like, Fur Affinity is a really big one, but it's obviously one of those ones that has more of a catered audience.
Yeah.
And, like, more rules on what you can post in terms of, human works not really wanted there.
Yeah.
You have smaller ones like Weasel, and there was another one that I can't remember the name of that started up.
Are these all furry based?
No, most of them, like, ones like Weasel and all that, were ones that came after DeviantArt, like the Great DeviantArt Purge, or whatever you want to call it, and, like, ones that started popping up after Tumblr, like, I think Pillow Fort was the main one for a while.
Yeah, but I thought that was, like, invitation only, so I don't know anything about Pillow Fort.
I also don't remember anything
And
about
then
Pillow Fort.
you have, like, the foreign websites like ZeroChan and Pixiv.
Yeah, Pixiv especially is the really big Asian one.
Yeah.
Which they have a lot
I
stranger rules.
I can't read.
Yeah. I know a few other people who post, like, I used to / sometimes still post on Pixiv, but it's usually a huge dump of illustrations in one post.
Yeah.
Because it's just usually not worth it because people, they'll look at the art, but it's like you're not really going to get much engagement because they don't really want to speak English. And then I don't speak enough Japanese to be able to fully communicate thoughts and emotions other than art look very pretty today, thank.
Yeah, engagement is such a big thing about being an artist online.
It sucks.
It drives so many of us, and numbers shouldn't drive us, but they do, and it's disgusting. Like, the thing is, like, when I was 14, 15, 16, posting art on DeviantArt, I didn't care about the numbers. I didn't care about the likes, the clicks, or the comments. It wasn't until after I'm like, you start getting people commenting, liking, faving on DeviantArt and stuff. That's when you notice it, like, oh, that feels good. And then it feels so dirty to admit that, but it does. And because, like, DeviantArt for me, when I used DeviantArt, it was all just roleplay groups. So you would draw up character sheets and roleplay with people. So the people that you were engaging with were people in the same kind of, not even fandom, it was just the same niche group, like the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon one we mentioned one episode ago.
Yeah.
It was all just shit like that. And it was so OC based as well. It's like fan art just wasn't a thing that I posted very often when I was a kid, and that's only been more relevant later on. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like, I didn't really do super RP groups, but I used to basically just post, like, art. Like, my friends and I would just do, like, art trays all the time and stuff, and, like, we'd just want to draw all of our, like, warrior cat OCs together and all that kind of fun stuff.
We would...
And, like, oh, we have a dragons, let's draw them together, and, oh, that suddenly they're in Spyro universe or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the kind of shit you don't care about, but if you look back on it now, or, like, you did it today, people would probably call you cringe.
Oh, bro, everything we did was cringy. Our OCs were cringy. How many edgy OCs did you have? Or was that just me? Everyone in the comment section below, mention how many cringy, edgy OCs you had. Bonus points if they had the black eyes with the coloured iris. I had 3 of those.
Oh my god, that's so specific. Isn't there like a character in My Hero Academia who has eyes like that?
Yeah,
fucking hell.
Mina does, but I specifically took mine from Bleach. So, my art style can be traced back to Bleach and Code Geass. Like, I was
sexy.
I was like big into Yu-Gi-Oh, but I didn't take any of the Yu-Gi-Oh influence until I was like late teenager. So we're talking 17 to 18. And I think that's...
And I didn't get super into Yu-Gi-Oh until way later.
What? Really?
I didn't get into Yu-Gi-Oh until super later when I was in uni. So
really?
It wasn't there in my art style. And yeah, I only got super obsessed into Yu-Gi-Oh in 2015 when I started university.
See, I was fucking obsessed with GX when I was a kid. That's all I drew that was fan art related was GX stuff. And it was just because, like, when I was posting to DeviantArt, it was just like, haha, I drew something. Post. Now let's draw something else. Post. I didn't even come back and check if people were commenting or liking on it.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's like, are we allowed to talk about other, like, YouTube channels in our podcast?
I don't know, are we? Are you gonna talk smack about people?
No. I was just gonna mention how, like, Drawfee, the drawing channel, they recently did a episode on, like, redrawing their old art and talked about how when you were kids, you just drew for the sake of it. Like, there was no meaning behind it. If you wanted to draw all your OCs hanging out at the beach with, like, roasting marshmallows, then you would. That was it. And it didn't matter if anyone knew who your OCs were. Or, like, your warrior cats having an epic throwdown.
Damn, I lived for those warrior cats having an epic throwdown, mate.
I drew Firestar so much. Spoilers.
I still live for those warrior cats having epic showdown.
Yeah, man.
Nothing will ever give me the thrill warrior cats did when I was like fucking 13 years old.
Oh, absolutely. And then you would just take, like, warrior cats, like, the concept and then apply it to other animals. So you would have, like, I don't know, maybe someone did a wolf episode. Well, not a wolf thing, but there
Oh my god, did people do wolf warriors?
Wolf warriors, horse warriors, and dragon warriors were so
I had a dragon
big.
warrior, say you.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. Dirty dragon lover that I am.
Oh god, but I love to hear it, baby. Love to hear it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. One thing I did want to mention that actually talking about the warrior cats and what you mentioned about Drawfee just reminded me about how, like, I don't know if you have this, but something I find when you're older, and especially when you're like, maybe in your like 20s, basically as soon as you're in university or after university, and there's kind of more pressure on you to do your own thing or to have something higher happen, like you have to take your skills into either a marketable area where you're working on something for someone else and you're getting paid for it, or you're making your own thing. Like, for example, most people want to do like webcomics and they go on like that, but like, did you find that like there's a lot more pressure, especially from your fellow artist peers who are possibly doing this, or just in general, that there's more pressure on you to be spending all of your spare art time to dedicate it to a personal project that had to be like an original piece that you were going to become known for, like it was going to be your manga or your book or something like that. And it became, like, I don't know, maybe it's because of the environment of university, but for me personally, I felt a lot more people look down on drawing fan art uni and post-uni, and it was more like, why aren't you making original content for games and stuff like that? Why are you drawing fucking Lelouch v Britannia, bitch? Why?
The fan art versus original art argument is so fucking stupid.
It is.
Because fan art is art. And let's talk about me real quick, because like some of my biggest gigs I got from drawing fan art of like my favorite games. Overwatch. And it's just like it can lead you places, but you have to have like clear dedication to that fandom or to that craft. Like I don't understand why there is like so much pressure on like people who they look down on fan artists. I think there's so much pressure on fan artists, and it's just like it's so weird because like original content and fan art can get you places.
It's honestly, it is something that I used to kind of be a bit preachy about in uni, because I used to kind of be surrounded by people, and I don't want to say everyone, obviously, because not everyone was like this, but there used to be a few people that would be more like, oh, I don't want to draw fan art anymore because it's, you know, it's not helping me in terms of, like, it's not getting my name out there. Like, okay, maybe it was just games design, but, like, for reference, I went to university for games design, STARMIE went to university for animation. I just want to remind everyone, just in case we get into it
a bit
more.
Quick?
Yes, go for it.
Me and one other girl were the only people that could draw in our animation class. They all signed up for 3D, so our experiences are very different.
Yes.
So there was no pressure so much from my university class as there was from people online, I guess, is a good way to say it. Because, I saw that argument thrown everywhere, like, just like, ugh. Fan artists.
But you definitely experienced it for sure, but I guess you didn't experience it in person maybe so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so that's fair. That is a good point to bring in actually too. I definitely don't want to talk about your course because I didn't do your course.
Yes.
But personally, more for mine one, I found that it was more like there's a big pressure, especially maybe it's just in Melbourne because we're quite known for indie games. There's less AAA games and stuff here. So they basically press you to be like starting your first mega indie hit basically. And if you're not an indie darling leaving university or a year after, basically it's kind of like, who the fuck are you? Like, you're not benefiting the university. Like, we can't say, oh, you were a student at blah, blah, blah university because you're not doing it. You're not the indie darling. Basically, if you weren't the indie darling, just fuck off. You're basically, you're the scum of the class. And I know this sounds really harsh, but oh my god, did it sometimes fucking feel like that in uni? But I won't go into a uni rant.
No,
this episode, we could save a uni rant for later, but I did just want to mention that pressure was also on me and still kind of is on me, but I have mostly pushed it off in terms of me making art and me making my original concepts as well as original game concepts, especially when I work on my games.
Yeah.
I keep it really down low. I never advertise or talk about the things I'm working on in games because I am... I don't like talking about it because maybe it's because I went to university for games, so there's more pressure to make like a fucking indie darling when I'm like, I just want to make a game where you play as a talking dinosaur. Like, leave me alone.
Oh, absolutely. But that's the benefit about like now being an online artist is now you can get like pretty much like worldwide attention for what you're doing, but the downside is you have to post it, and like that's very difficult to do. Well, it's not difficult to do, but it's difficult to get seen because there's so much things being uploaded to the internet at once.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. Like, it's luck. And, like, there's this saying in, like, the self-help world where it's, like, you make your own luck, which means if you want to be noticed for something, then you have to put yourself out there. And when you put yourself out there, you're going to have to accept that you will receive negative criticism. That's just how it is. It's a lot easier to tear down someone else's house than build your own.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to develop thick skin when you're throwing your shit out there. Just saying.
You also have to get used to silent rejection.
That's the worst.
Yeah. I don't know if that's just a term I use or if, you know, other people use it too, but it's basically where it's like you're an artist and no matter how many followers you have or how many like great friends you might have that maybe retweet your post, you basically get nothing. You will get like maybe 2 likes and one of them is from your sister and one of them is from your friend and the other retweet is from your friend too, and it's like, damn, that's cool, my friend's retweeting, but there'll be no other contact from any random person, no new traffic to your channel, or not your channel, sorry, your page or whatever the fuck people call it these days.
Yeah.
But like That's what I call silent rejection, and because it's not you're not getting rejected by your peers or anything like that.
No.
And you shouldn't expect all of your peers to like constantly retweet and shit your feed because that's super toxic. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't put all of your responsibilities onto someone else just because they have a bigger audience than you too.
Oh yeah, don't
but
do that.
Also,
that's dodge.
yeah, definitely don't do that. So, like, for example, STARMIE has more followers than me. If I was like, STARMIE, why aren't you retweeting this piece of art I did? You have more followers, bitch. That'd be so fucking toxic of me.
I have had people ask me to retweet and promote them on my page.
Wait, really?
Yeah, for that specific reason, just because I had a somewhat decent-sized following. And the thing is, like, yeah, it wasn't you, but I've actually had, like, strangers just say, like, hey, can you, like, boost me? I'm like, I've never seen you before in my life. No, go away. And it's like, it's not my
I'm more just like, wow, I just put that out there as an example, and you're like, oh no, that's happened, and I'm like, oh, shit, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. It hasn't happened very often, but it does happen not a fair bit. It does happen. Like, if you grow a following, then you're gonna have people to ask them to promote them, and they usually guilt you as well on like that. Just say, but
that's fucking sketch.
You've got such a big following, and like, it won't even matter if you just retweet me and promote my page and just just help me out a little bit, please. I'm like, oh, this is awkward because I don't know who you are. And then you just gotta learn to be hard with people. That's like the hardest part too, is like you just gotta say no.
People will try and call you villains for it, but there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Bro, you saw how many people have me blocked, and I don't even know what I'd done.
I thought I would have more people blocked because I'm a little fucking bitch on Twitter. But I'm like, wait, why does STARMIE have more people blocked than me? I'm low-key offended.
Wait, hold on. What's your block count?
Okay, last time I checked, I had over 100 people I had blocked because I just block people when I just don't want to deal with them, or they post one post I don't like. I just block. Who cares? Like, they don't care. They're never going to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I only have like 5 people who have me blocked. Oh, and I don't even know nor care who they would be because I'm like, if you have me blocked, chances are I don't want to see you on my feed anyway, so it's good. I won't see you ever.
I have about 70 people that I've blocked. 50 of them are companies promoting their tweets that I don't want to see on my Twitter.
Oh, that's me all the time.
Yep. But I have over 300 people that have blocked me on Twitter, and I'm like, what did I do? That's
that to me, that just screams that people didn't like a ship you liked. That's generally when people block. I have a
feeling it could be that, but it's just, I jump from fandom so often that I don't know. Like, I tried fucking Googling starfish draws problematic question mark.
No, you didn't.
I did. I'm like, what did I do? Did someone rant about me? And then, no, I couldn't find it. But no, there's no context of someone saying like, let's cancel starfish, woo. And it's like, no, that's just I don't know what I done. I assume it's ship related.
I'm typing this right in for myself. Oh shit, I just get Sonic the Hedgehog game cancellations. God damn it, I was ready for some it's alright.
Yeah. And I even tried that thing where you put the slash in your name because that's how people like to break it up. And I'm like, no, that didn't work either, so I don't know. If you guys want to make rumors about me, go for it.
I heard STARMIE smelly.
Yeah, she's smelly. I heard she showers once a week. Gross. Time to cancel her.
Oh my god. But going back for a second to I just remembered. I remembered something before I forget it again. I just wanted to say it. Going back to when you were talking about how someone would like low-key come into your DMs and be like, "Hey, can you promo me?"
Yeah.
I just want to explain why that is quite problematic, or maybe not use the word problematic because it's a bit overused, but why you shouldn't do that because basically if you try to guilt them into doing it for you, there's probably 99 other people that also want that to happen. So if they make an exception for you, they're expected to make an exception for the 99 other people. And then suddenly they have 100 posts in a row on their tweet feed or their profile promoting other people's work. And that just looks super sketch. Like, that to me, if I saw that, I'd be like, 1, this person is being bullied, or 2, this person is accepting bribes from these people.
Yeah,
which would be weird, and most people wouldn't do that because it's like, that's just not what they want to do. A page is really personalized, and people basically, they're going to retweet what they want, and sometimes Yeah, sometimes, basically all you should do is, if you really want something retweeted, like it's a commission post, or it's something that, like, you know, you have a new book, you have a new comic, you really want to promote it, say something like, please retweet, or retweets equal hearts in it, because then it's like, you're immediately already thanking them for retweeting, and then if they retweet it, great. If they don't, they probably have a reason, or it's not that they hate you, they just don't want to put it on there. Like, some people are really protective of their pages, and they have a really nice order they want to keep in their pages.
I've seen that. Remember, like, themed blogs on Tumblr?
Exactly. I was going to mention that. I was like, I never understood themed blogs on Tumblr, because mine's just a shit show.
Mess.
It's just a hot mess. I reblog whatever the fuck I think is funny or great art. But, absolutely. Like, I don't understand it, but I can still respect it that some people prefer to only certainly have, like, I used to get a lot of random likes on, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Posts and stuff, or, like, memes I draw, and, like, the people would just like them, and if I occasionally went to different people's feeds and their blogs, I'd see they were incredibly, like, content monitored and stuff, like, they had a specific order and stuff what they posted, so I'm like, oh, they liked it, they just don't reblog it, because obviously their blog isn't that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, there are underlying reasons. You kind of got to stop over-analyzing it too, which is hard to do, but you do have to not over-analyze it. Like, why did this person only maybe like it and not retweet it, or reblog it? What's going on, sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
They probably have reasons, but it's probably a reason that has nothing to do with you. Or they just forgot, or they're just scrolling through, like, millions of dashes, millions of pictures on their dash, and they just go through and like them as they see them.
You'll drive yourself insane
very hard
trying to read other people online. Just don't do it. Like, for me, like, I understand, like, once you get to a certain point with posting out, you do spend a lot of time figuring out how to monetize it. But, and that's okay if you do, but once you reach that point, you're going to drive yourself insane, because when those numbers start going down or plateau, you're not going to be able to figure out how to change that. You're better off just, like, putting the stuff out there that you want to put out there for fun, and then working out at the details of, like, monetization later. Because, like, I know there's kind of, like, a weird thing. Like, there's, like, a group of artists that are like, you can't monetize your art, that's dodgy, and there's a whole bunch of other people that are like, it's completely okay. I'm on the it's okay side. A lot of the times, the people who think it's bad to monetize, or think about monetizing everything, are younger artists who haven't experienced making money off your art or trying to make it as an artist. And that usually comes from the hobby artists who have another job as a staple.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Because, like, a part of, like, for me, I do constantly think about ways to monetize my art, because eventually I do want to get to a point where I can live off it. But a part of me also wants to continue doing stuff without the pressure of figuring out how to make money off it as well. Because, like, I do feel a bit of guilt about it, because it's just like, but also I want to make a living off this. I want this as my job. So there's a lot of, like, there comes a point to, like, your overall moral compass, and you're going to have to, like, let go of some of your beliefs on what you believe, like, what art should and shouldn't be kind of thing, in order to, like, come up to, like, the best possible outcome with your online audience and how much money you make from it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, and it is very hard to, because of there's so many outlying causes too, and it's not just an audience. Like, an audience will get you more, like, commissions and examples of, like, ways to be able for people to be able to spend money on your art, but it's also just, in general, like, there's a lot of different ideas. Like, you could have a huge audience, but a lot of people might just like seeing your art. Like, they might not have something they'd want personally commissioned, something like that. Like, that's just one example, but there are a lot of different things that can be going on, kind of thing. You can't just apply one way of reasoning for one person to, like, an entire audience, because you don't know exactly what everybody wants, kind of thing. You can't offer everything, because that ain't good for you.
Are more important than trying to please the whole crowd. Find what you like and stick to it. You want to draw anime cat boys, that's very popular, go for it. If you want to draw big titty anime women, do it. If you want to draw big buff furries, you want to draw scalies and dragons, if you want to stick to drawing fan art's pretty difficult, because you tend to grow a following for each fandom that you're in, but they very rarely cross over. So that people who stay in between your fandoms are more there for you and your personality more than your art style. And I love you guys. You know who you are. All that kind of shit. Because, like, that's the thing. Like, I built my following posting Overwatch art for 3 years. And then I stopped doing that. And so the numbers went down. And then I was in My Hero for, like, I don't know, 6 months. And the numbers went up again. But still not as high as they were when I was doing Overwatch stuff. And now I'm back into the Yu-Gi-Oh fandom, and like the numbers are just non-existent pretty much. So if you're going to change fandoms constantly, you're going to have to prepare for drop in engagement and numbers. And I'm okay with that because I enjoy what I'm doing. When you do original art, it's a lot harder to grow a following, but they're way more prominent, and like they're there for you kind of thing. So that's just like the ups and downs to like the kind of content you want to post. And memes are always way more popular than the stuff you put time into. Don't feel bad about that. That's just how it is.
Yep, absolutely. Like, I can tell you when I first watched Code Geass at the start of the year, I was redrawing a fuck ton of Code Geass memes just because I found it so fucking funny.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
It was making me howl to redraw these memes.
Right?
And I was having a good time. And I
feeling.
wanted to post them all because I wanted other people to fucking howl watching them.
Yeah.
And like looking at them, and some of my memes, they were getting like hundreds of notes, and that's more than my art has ever gotten. And I was like, wow, this is really, people really like these memes. But honestly, the funniest thing was just watching people howl in the like the tags and the comments and stuff about the memes.
Slaps.
But memes took like no time at all because I just redrew over images, and I just added like capes and shit. Whereas like a painted drawing or like an original drawing of a character, that shit, it's never gonna clock as hard as a meme. That's just an internet fact. Like, you just have to learn that.
Yeah. And it is kind of like, grr, but that's just how it is on the internet world.
Yeah. It's like, I can tell you right now, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to say this, but my friend Rice Spirit, who, he's like a really big successful artist. Like, he's pretty cool. He's gonna tell you no, but he's pretty cool.
Love you, Ryan.
Yeah, we love you, Ryan.
Love you, Ryan.
So he's really cool. He does a lot of really hyper detailed paintings and stuff like that. He has a nice detailed painting style. And I've like seen progress shots and watched him do it and stuff, but still, all of his stuff, he draws really like hyper detailed memes a lot of the time too. And literally at every single convention, his memes will outsell the pictures that he's spent like 20 hours on. Like the more detailed like Avengers or like Banjo-Kazooie arts and stuff like that. Like they're popular and nostalgic and stuff, and people want them for that and nice art. But the memes will always ask, like the Doge meme. Fucking everybody would rather buy the Doge meme.
You've seen like my most popular charm is Kirby with a knife, so I know exactly what you're talking about, hun.
It's 100%. It's just the memes because they're so instantly recognizable, and people will laugh at them. And most of the time, if people are laughing at something, they fucking want it next second. So it's just, they're just like, well, I've got to have it now.
Yep. And
that's just how it is. You just gotta shrug and move on.
That's it. And, like, when you build up a reputation of being, like, a meme artist, it's really hard to break from it. Like, you're just gonna plummet for a while if you, like... Because, like, I have seen that happen where there's just been an artist that I've followed on Twitter who only posted memes. But then when their content shifted, they stopped getting the attention, and they felt like... You would just see, like, on their private Twitter... is that what you call it? Private twit? Whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, their private Twitter, they'll just be commenting about like, oh, I've failed as an artist, and I'm like, I'm not that great. I'm like, no, it's just the audience. When you aim low, it's really hard to get high when you start doing improved artworks and stuff as well. And it's like, I'm talking from experience too. Like, I posted so many dumb meme comics, and then by the time I was ready to like break out of that, it just took a long time.
It is really tough. And also the fact that a lot of the time too, like maybe this is a little bit generalizing, but
go for
most of the time most of your meme comment, it's gonna get like a lot of attention from younger people too. Younger people, they don't have that kind of disposable income either. So it's like imagine you're like fucking 13 and you're just howling at a Doge meme, and you follow this person because they make the funny memes, and then suddenly it's like more serious art. They have like a serious plot line or something for an original thing that they're kind of starting to work on. And an older audience might be like, oh yeah, this is cool, I'd really like to follow this, like, they're actually doing something original, like, that's cool. But then a younger audience might be like, okay, it's time to move on to the next funny meme. This person next door is posting Fortnite memes. Well, let's go there.
Elevator.
Which I'm generalizing, but obviously not everybody is like that. But memes are very popular with younger people, especially, and they just don't have that disposable income or attention span in some cases.
Yeah.
Don't think I'm talking about everyone here. I am generalizing specifically.
It's okay.
It's basically just rationalizing how a lot of this happens, because most people might not think about it, or they haven't started to think about it as deeply as us, because it's happened to us kind of thing. Whereas we have answers, we have explanations, so we just want to give them as like little bits of advice, and also just little ways to explain, because you might be going through this soon too, so it could be good to know ahead of time. It makes it easier to tackle.
We have how many years between us?
Too many.
Yeah, so many. We're not going to expose my age. I'm old. I'm old. I've been doing this for too long. But yeah. Support me on Patreon. Just kidding, I don't have one.
No. Support me on Patreon.
Yeah, go support ASHE on Patreon. Like, her art is fucking phenomenal. Mwah, love it.
Thank you. Love you too. Support STARMIE on Patreon.
I don't have a Patreon. Oh, well, at least I don't promote my Patreon. I promoted it once in like a year.
I always forget. I'm like, oh, it's the end of the month. I should probably do a promotion round, because like that's the best time to get new Patreons, because then it rolls over and you get the money, and everyone gets the benefits.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I should probably do it. And then it's like the 29th of the month, and I'm like, ooh, I could do it, or I could draw Susaku tonight.
I need to have like consistent posting between the stuff I do not post and the stuff that I do post before I am ready to promote Patreon. I don't want to be like, hey, follow me on Patreon, and then not post anything on there for 3 months, which
that's fair.
Just happened.
Yeah, I have more of a schedule thing where I have specific things I do for Patreons every month. So that kind of schedule is good to have for something like Patreon / consistency for people that you want to like go that extra mile kind of thing. Definitely.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's benefits and stuff as well that you can get into.
Hell yeah.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon stuff. Shrugs.
Well, I've even heard people like use OnlyFans to post their artworks.
Oh yeah, like especially smart and stuff.
Yeah, well, not even like there's some people that just say I prefer the way OnlyFans works over Patreon. I'm just gonna post my art there. And that's it. Like, it's interesting. It's not even just not safe for work. Like, they can have, like, I don't know. It's just one single tier and they just post everything.
That is a good idea. I should look up OnlyFans.
Oh my God.
The more you know.
The more you know. Yeah. This is this is what I've heard, though. Because, like, with OnlyFans, that you can set how much you pay each month, and that's just it. And then you just post everything, whatever you want on there. And then... I'm not getting into OnlyFans. I know too much about it, but that's a conversation for another time.
That's fair.
I can tell you after the pod if you like, Ash.
Ooh. Exclusive.
OnlyFans.
Go to Patreon / Late Night Light. No, I'm just kidding.
Man, we should make... You know, you can have, like, multiple Patreons under the same email.
Wait, really? Oh, the more you know.
Yeah.
Oh, we're getting off track again. Let's not
talk
about Patreon.
Patreon. You know, social justice warriors, support me on Patreon.
Please like and subscribe.
Pay for my hair dye. I'm kidding, I don't dye my
hair.
Pay
for STARMIE's hair dye.
I don't dye my hair anymore. My avatar is a lie. I went from,
a lie.
Fucking bleach blonde into, like, dirty brown. I'm like, oof, here we go.
I'm just always a dirty brown, so...
Yeah. Oh well, Heather enjoying her blonde hair. The silent heel humor for you. Whatever. All right, back to being artists online. How do you do? So we've talked about the like. Should we talk about like the validation side to getting a lot of likes and comments on your artwork and how that
go into it. I know you want to talk about it, so you lead us off. Give us the STARMIE lowdown.
Yeah, the STARMIE lowdown. So when you reach a point where your art gets a certain amount of likes every time you post, that dopamine hit is crazy. And that's what it is. It's dopamine. It's addictive. And so that kind of forces you to want to post more and more. But then it reaches a point where when your art doesn't do as well as you expected it just hits harder too. And then all of a sudden you go into like a downward spiral of like, fuck, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Am I a fake? That's when the imposter syndrome hits too. Do you want to talk about imposter syndrome? Do you get that?
Well, I mean, see, what you've just explained doesn't really apply to me because I've never really gotten many notes on my art ever. Like, I don't mean to set myself up as a little fucking, not, I was gonna call myself a little fucking bitch.
You're an underdog,
what I meant to call myself.
Fine.
No, I guess, okay, here's a way to put it. I've never been a super successful artist online in terms of the definition of it. In terms of, like, I have never really consistently pulled, like, hundreds of notes on, like, likes and reblogs and stuff like that. The most I probably peaked was a few times I would post, like, fanfiction fan art or something for, like, some Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff I'd do a couple of years back, and I'd maybe get 20 or 30 notes reliably, which, if you're an artist and you're listening to this and you pull, like, thousands of likes regularly, you're gonna be like, what? But, like, for me, it was like, oh, that's cool. Some people really like that. I mostly just wanted to spread awareness of fics because a whole nother ballpark, but fics get basically no attention compared to art for multiple reasons.
True.
But we won't get into it because it's not a bird's nest, a can of worms.
It's a can of worms, yeah.
Yeah, but basically...
fucking have the opposite where I see people who are doing like less off than me and I'm like, oh man, you guys are doing so well, I wish I was doing that. And then I check my page and I'm like, oh wait, I am, like in like a non-asshole way. Like I see people who get like maybe 200 300 likes on one of their drawings. I'm like, oh fuck, that's incredible, I wish I could do that. And then I check my page, I'm like, oh wait, I am doing that. I don't know, I just feel way more happier about when other people succeed than I do myself.
Well, that's nice. It's a good quality to have, definitely. But
yeah, absolutely. I just want to see people thrive.
Oh, she's so nice. Look at her go. Yeah, basically what you were saying before about that, before you got into imposter syndrome, it doesn't apply to me because I've never personally really felt it.
Yeah.
I've never really had a consistent amount of highs that have really made me feel like I need to keep a consistency, so I've never really hit a low. It kind of just stays at the same, like... basically just a car engine running where it's like it bounces a little bit, but it's like I just go along the road. Occasionally there's a rock, but otherwise I just keep bouncing along. So I don't really care. I don't really optimize how I submit things these days. I just throw a piece of art out there occasionally. Like I can tell you right now, I have at least 5 15-hour pictures that I haven't submitted right now that are have been sitting on my laptop for 5 months now. I just haven't posted them.
Post them. I want to see.
I'm lazy.
Do I have to fucking join your Patreon to see this?
Okay, well, I do post them all straight away to Patreon, which is the one advantage, I guess, Patreon. I just fucking send them to you after the podcast. Don't worry, they'll get posted eventually. No, I post them about once a month, maybe.
I like seeing your art.
I'm just really lazy. I finish an art piece and I'm like, ooh, she's sexy, and then I save it and then I just leave.
Oh, bro.
So, like, I guess I stopped kind of caring about what my art would get me in a way because...
That's a fucking good place to be. Don't ever change.
It kind of is a good place to be because I used to spend a long time really depressed that I basically got no notes and no attention on all my art, despite how I could see how much I was improving since my early DeviantArt days. Yeah. But then I kind of stopped wanting to be so depressed about it, so I kind of stopped caring in a way. It's really hard to do, and I can't say you could just suddenly stop caring. It's very impossible. I still care sometimes, but mostly I'm like, because I just draw fan art and shit that I want, like I draw fucking whatever I want these days. I don't
happy, right?
Yeah, exactly. I don't really care.
You just can't care about the numbers. Like that's just a thing. Like I know there are maybe you can care about the numbers when you rely on the numbers for like, I don't know, fucking YouTube or some shit. But it's like you can't get into the mindset of the only thing that matters is the follow count, the likes and the retweets. It's not that important. And I'm just going to say that right now. It's not that important.
Yeah. It kind of isn't. It's I know it is very hard to think that it's not, but it is not.
If you have 1,000 followers, I can guarantee you only, I don't know, 50 of them will be active. The rest of them are just like dead weight.
Or the rest of them follow 1,000 other accounts.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is like, the most important thing to you as an artist is the friends that you make, the friends you made along the way.
Exactly.
Because those are the ones that are going to support you. They're the ones that are going to join your Twitch streams. They're the ones that are going to support you on Patreon. They're the ones that are going to want to like do collabs and art trades with you. And that's,
I mean, it's true. I can tell you right now that every single one of my Patreons are people I know by first name basis.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, you will reach a point, like, of course, there is this thing where as your skill set grows and you have, I guess what I can say is just like what's the word when something is just...
A spike? You mean like an explosion? Or?
No, it's just I'm thinking of the word. Fucking when you have a pretty art style, you will drawing more people. That's just how it is. But
an aesthetic art style?
Yeah, I guess it could be aesthetics because like I had this trouble like when I experimented a lot with my art in 2016, 2017 and 2018.
Yeah.
That was probably like the weakest I've ever been with my art style in general. It was just super weak. And then as you like develop certain like drawing aspects, people do eventually want to see it, which is where you get your Patreons and stuff as well. Because a lot of the time the numbers it's not technically connected to your skill set, but sometimes it is. Because like I compare myself to all my other art friends and their follower count is way higher than mine, and that's something to say because I already have a decent amount of followers, and it's just like, oh, I want my art to look like that, and then I don't because I'm happy with my art. That's just it. It just gets
I
like
look
that.
at fun art styles and I'm like, I want my art to look like that.
Yeah.
I usually don't really check people's follower counts so much anymore because, like, I guess I kind of just got used to it because, like you said, basically every single one of my other art friends, they all have follower counts higher than me, or they're, like, more active, or they don't keep 5 pieces of art on their laptop for 5 months. Like, they have much more consistent postings, or they have, like, a better grasp of the niche they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, some of our friends have a really good niche that they're in.
I don't have a niche. And, like, I've thought about it. I'm just like, my niche is not existence because I don't have
I
one.
used to have a niche in fan fiction, but then I yeeted myself out of fan fiction and retired. So now I'm just an old grandma who used to have a niche in a part of a fan fiction community.
Oh, God.
But I used to be known for a certain style of fan fiction, so I guess you could easily say the same thing about an art style kind of thing. Like
writing style and art style go in hand. Everyone has a different way of doing it, but it's very unique to each person.
Definitely, yeah. Like, I used to get comments that were, occasionally I would get comments that people would comment on exactly what it was they liked about my writing style or certain ways I did things. And that was they were really good comments because they really informed me. Like, I personally had no idea, I'm just out here writing whatever the fuck I like. I'm like, hee fun.
Hee
but
flow.
Yeah, people, exactly. But people could put words into it from their perspective because they weren't staring at the page all the time like I was. And that was really helpful and stuff. And that taught me that I kind of did have this niche on where I would write.
Yeah.
And you can get that in art too. And that's honestly one of the best places to be in art because it will keep you happy. Like, I was just writing what makes me happy, and people were coming for that kind of niche that I didn't realize I had until later. And the same can be said for art.
Oh,
absolutely. You draw what makes you happy, and you will eventually find a kind of niche.
Yeah,
sometimes you gotta push yourself towards it a little bit. Sometimes you gotta just let yourself fall into it. It's a stupid process. Art sucks. The end.
Yeah. Also, don't feel bad if you're not constantly proactive and like productive with your content. It's important to have other hobbies as well.
Absolutely.
You don't want to end up like me where my only hobby is art. So when I'm feeling stressed from art, I draw. And then it doesn't go away because I'm like,
oh no.
Why do you think I play Yu-Gi-Oh? Man, I don't play video games. The only hobby I have is art, and it's really hard to like separate the stuff that goes up for like it's really hard to separate like commission work and normal work because it's just all the same. All I'm doing is drawing. It's just
yeah.
Have multiple hobbies, have breaks. You don't want to burn out. That's just very important.
Another important thing too that I might say that I personally used to struggle with, I've kind of got more of a grips on it now, is that if you have multiple hobbies, for example, I'm an artist, I draw, I'm a writer, I write things, and I'm a games designer. I occasionally do games work, not as much as the other two, but those are the things I consider my mostly hobbies. But you basically, for all of your hobbies, if they're all your hobbies and you do them all, don't try to monetize them all as well, because then it's going to become a horrible mess. There was a point in my life, this was during university, admittedly, so this was also with the pressure of uni, that I thought I had to either be making games, writing something for games, or writing something for a novel, and my art all had to go towards these original ideas and stuff. I really shouldn't be drawing fan art. And also, I couldn't play video games, because if I was playing a video game, I had time to make a video game. And that was incredibly toxic and was a very bad time in life and was not fun. So you don't try to monetize all of your hobbies. Sometimes it will just come to you with your hobbies, but you should just let it happen naturally, and you shouldn't try to push every single thing you could do. Like, I know especially because this is something that younger people suffer with a lot, because it's like, how can I make more money, because we're just not making enough money, or sometimes we can only get part-time jobs and it's really stressful. But you can't just think, how can I make money out of this for everything you do? And I just want to also quickly mention that on top of that, the building block on top of that, sometimes if you have family, friends, or an like a uni environment or something like that, something around you that says that everything you do has to be, they're like, oh, how are you making money? Oh, are you making an app? I heard this 17-year-old made an app and made millions of dollars. It's like, bitch, that's their lucky streak, and they probably had millions of possibilities happening around them that they weren't aware of, or they were aware of, that you don't have. And it's really important to consider situations like, spitballing off that, I've heard stories, and like, I've seen stories of people, and they get lucky, or they happen to know someone, and this is really important too, especially in video games, let me tell you, they happen to know someone that helps them make a launch point for their indie darling success. That their indie darling success might not have become an actual success and a darling unless they knew that person in an industry already. And that's just how it goes with a lot of things, especially with a lot of networking aspects. I believe animation can quite frequently be the same.
I think animation is the same. I don't want to be an animator anymore, even though I have a degree in animation. When I was doing my freelance work, I realized I didn't enjoy it. So it's not a job that I want. I'm glad that I still have the degree and I know how to animate, but it's just not a priority for me anymore. Like, my love lies in illustration. So that's my main focus. And going back to that whole, like, don't monetize every single hobby, we can talk about the difference, like, because you often hear, I want to become a YouTuber, or I want to become a streamer, and I want to come this. If you do want to do those things, make sure you have one that is just for fun. Like, if you want to, like, monetize your YouTube, of course, follow the algorithm. But if you're also doing Twitch streams, try not to focus too much on the money on that aspect, because, you will drive yourself insane. Like, for me, I have both a YouTube and a Twitch, and both of those things are for fun. I don't really expect them to go anywhere. They're side projects, but I like having a schedule of posting and keeping to them. It kind of gives me structure that I so regularly need at the moment. COVID flashbacks. COVID. Either way.
COVID. Birds descend from the ceiling.
Yeah, it's Hitchcock's The Birds.
Oh no.
I think it's important to have just one of your social medias to not be related to monetization. It's just, it'll give you a much needed break. And like, I don't know, some people will constantly promote their Instagram and their Twitch for commissions and their shop and stuff, but too much of that and you will go insane. Because it's important to find a balance between the numbers game and the fun game.
Definitely, yeah. I also have a Twitch and a YouTube, although I only recently started on Twitch. I used to never stream because I used to just not really give a shit. I used to watch anime every time I played or drew something. So
streaming is so much fun. I love talking to people. That's why I stream on Twitch, because I just want to get to know my followers a little more.
Yeah, I found the social aspect of Twitch a lot better too. Like, I find it's more fun to play certain games on Twitch, or like when I'm drawing something, or like memes and like drawing fun things like that on stream can be really fun too. So yeah, I definitely I can see why people would like that, because now that I've tried it, I do enjoy it too. But neither my Twitch nor my YouTube are monetized at all. I obviously don't have enough followers. I don't pull enough views for YouTube to be like, hey, you win some money, baby.
Yeah, no, me neither. My YouTube is still
exactly.
baby.
But I still spend hours making scripts for my analysis videos simply because I just like to do it.
Absolutely.
It makes me feel like I'm putting my degree to use, and also that I can say funny, smart things about video games and help people learn things, which is generally what I use my degree for. I just occasionally, when I'm playing a game, I'll be like, oh, the way they did this is how they did it in the game, or something like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, you get mini game lessons and you're not 20k in debt instead. There you go. Bam! Exactly. I solved all your problems.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, we can talk about uni and art degrees later, because, like, as someone who's learned animation, if you have access to an animation program, you don't really need to go to uni.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll talk about that some other time.
We will have a dedicated uni episode in case you guys want it. Yeah. But if you don't, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of bitching and complaining, I'm just gonna say.
I do like to complain.
Oh, man. Do I have a lot of unresolved feelings from university?
Oh god, we can bitch about that after podcast, because I just want to hear people bitch. I love listening to people complain. Like, not to the point where
I'm sure the viewers would too.
Not to the point where I purposely look up rant soners, but just to the point where I watch video analysis on certain.
No, we do not talk about rant soners on this here channel.
I'm gonna make us some rant soners. This video is gonna contain rant soners.
Okay, guys, if this edit goes out... Alright, who's editing this one? I think it's me. Don't worry, you're safe.
Yeah.
You know you're safe from rant soners if I'm editing it. Don't worry, guys.
No, let me add them. I want to draw both of us with our
rant soners.
Our hands crossed and looking up and with an angry expression. Flat colored.
And your name has to be like Criticism Star or something like that, or Hot Take Star.
No, we've got to have alliteration.
That's true. Oh man.
What's a word starting with S that means agitated?
Skeptical Star.
Perfect. Welcome to the first episode of Skeptical Star, where I criticize whatever I want because I can.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wait, can I be aggravated, Ash?
Oh, perfect. Forget Late Night Latte. We're having Skeptical Star and Agitated Ash. Beautiful.
Oh no.
Support our Patreon. Okay, let's wrap it up. I'm done talking. We're talking about rant.
I think STARMIE needs to lie down for a while.
Let's wrap it up, lads.
Alright, I got you, don't worry. Thanks so much for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Late Night Lattes. We're gonna be signing off.
We're gonna keep the rant zone stuff in, right?
Oh yeah, right.
Hell
keep it in for STARMIE.
Yes. Oh yeah, right.
Until next time, guys.
Until next time, yeah.
Ash signing out.
And I'm signing in. Let's go.
Cut.